Good morning. Get ready with me to just get ready with me. And while I do my makeup, let's do a little get to know me. So I'll walk you through everything I do. I feel like I've really honed in on like a 5 to 8 minute makeup situation. And I love my makeup pretty much every day, so I don't want to gatekeep it. First up, I use this, I'm almost out, this Dr. Dennis Gross Intense Wrinkle Cream. 29 years old and using an intense wrinkle cream, so primo. I'm almost out. It smells lemony fresh. It's super creamy and thick and beautiful, and I just love the way it smells. So this goes on. I do this morning and night. And while I do that, I do like a little bit of a facial massage just to like depuff, wake up, you know the drill. So as you know, my name is Elizabeth, or maybe you don't know, my name is Elizabeth. I'm a relatively new YouTuber, but I've been creating video content for years now, it feels like. I went to school and got my Bachelor of Arts. Next up, I'm using CoverGirl Clean Fresh, their Skin Milk in the shade Fair. And I mix that with my Super Goop sunscreen. I got my bachelor's degree in gender and women's studies. Woohoo! And honestly, now I joke that I'm a bad feminist, but there are some things I feel like I believe that make me a bad feminist, but we won't go into that right now. Maybe on an upcoming podcast episode, I'll dive deep into my unpopular opinions around feminism. So I went to school, I went to York University in Toronto and got my gender and women's studies degree. Oh, I love that combo. It's just like the two of them together. It's lighter than a foundation, but I find it just evens everything out. Also, I cannot see myself right now. So if by the end of this I look like a freaking clown, then it's all in the name of the video. Am I right? Next up, I go in with my Rare Beauty Duo. I use their bronzing stick in Power Boost. It's just a very warm brown, so I use this more as a bronzer than a contour. It's gonna be hard without a mirror. Oh well, trust the process. I feel like I can do it without a mirror, do you? So I do 2 stripes. Oh, and then I do my hairline. Sometimes, not always. But mostly if I'm on video, I find doing the hairline really, really helps with that like bronzy look. Then I go in with my Rare Beauty brush. So after I did my degree in gender and women's studies, I actually went to nutrition school, like the Institute of Holistic Nutrition, and I became a nutritionist. And then after that was a year-long program, I believe. And then I was seeing clients for nutrition, focusing on like hormones and gut health, really. But I found that I just wasn't loving seeing one-on-one clients. I wasn't fulfilled, to be honest. And I just felt like diet culture was the enemy. Like, I don't know, saying to a client, restrict this and restrict that and don't eat this and don't eat that. It just felt so unhealthy, even if it was like the quote unquote right thing to do. And in the meantime, to grow my nutrition practice, I was posting on social media all the time. I was blogging recipes. I was doing that hustle as like content creator, blogger, with a focus on growing my nutrition practice. And the thing I loved most about my job at the time was social media and blogging and creating recipes. So that is what I decided to do in the long run. And so that's how I got to where I am today. Is it really grew very organically, but now I post content and I'm a content creator full time. and I'm doing YouTube. Obviously, that's why we're here. And I'm actually about to start a podcast. Shh, don't tell anyone, that's a secret. I'm using the shade Happy in the Rare Beauty blush. I love this stuff. I just do like a tiny little bit on each cheek because it is so pigmented. But the reason I do my makeup in this way, like I'm gonna go in with concealer afterwards, but I find the concealer, once I do my under eyes, it kind of blends everything in together, which is really lovely. And it gives a nice finish rather than having like concealer, blush, bronzer. Like I don't like the contoured look on me, at least. I like everything to be super subtle and super blended. So that's my backstory about my career. That's how we got to where we are today. Other things you might not know about me, I am the youngest of 3 kids in my family. I have an older sister, she's the eldest, and then I have an older brother as well. I have NARS concealer, creamy concealer in light to vanilla. So I do under my eyes. I actually have a mirror here. I have 2 nieces and 1 nephew. Don't use that brush. I go in with a damp sponge, and they are just like the apple of my eye. I am obsessed with being an aunt. I love it so much. And thanks to my sister, she completely gave me baby fever, because once my nephew was born, I was like, okay, I'm ready. Let's have kids. And then we started trying about 6 months ago. So like there were 4 years in between that. But we have run into issues, or not necessarily issues, but we just haven't got pregnant yet. And we have been on a 3-month break from trying. I haven't done a video on this, but maybe I will. We have been on a 3-month break from trying because I had to get my rubella vaccine, my MMR vaccine updated. Like I had it when I was a baby, but when I got blood work done, they realized there wasn't any of it left in my system. So my doctor recommended that I get that done. So got that done, but then because it's a live vaccine, we put everything on hold for 3 months. So that's where we're at now. I'm gonna do a whole video on that actually. So I think there's a lot of mindset stuff that can go along with that. So stay tuned. Next, I go in with Charlotte Tilbury bronzer. It's like the Film Star Bronze and Glow. Or sorry, I just go in with the highlighter on this palette. I used to use the bronzer before I got the Rare Beauty bronzer stick. And since I've been using that, I haven't been using this because I just love this. And I like that this doesn't have any shimmer, but this bronzer does have shimmer. So it just depends what I'm in the mood for. What else do you want to know? I grew up in Toronto. I moved to Prince Edward County, where we live now. At the beginning of the pandemic, panorama. In 2020, we bought our house and we left the city, which honestly has been the best decision we've ever made. And then last year we renovated the entire main floor of our house. New kitchen, new flooring, new everything. I've never renovated anything in my life, so this was huge. And we didn't have a designer or anything. I did all the design and worked with our contractor and everything. And I'm so happy with how it turned out. Obviously, with any project, there's always going to be a few things that you wish were different or would have done differently. But all in all, given the scope of the project, I'm very proud of how it's turned out, especially with no designer. I think that's wonderful. So I just did a little bit of the bronzer as eyeshadow. That's like my hack sometimes. If I'm doing eyeshadow, I normally just do a bronzer. I have always loved food and loved to cook, even from the time I was a young wee child. I actually once made, so I have two big cooking fails that I can remember from being a wee youngster. One is I tried to make craft dinner at the cottage one summer, and I forgot to I didn't know that you had to drain the noodles after they cooked. So we had very wet craft dinner, mac and cheese, KD. And then my other, putting mascara on without a mirror, that's like quite a feat, am I right? My other cooking fail was I was making mashed potatoes. And again, it goes back to not knowing to drain things. I didn't know you had to drain the potatoes before mashing them. So again, we had very wet, disgusting mashed potatoes. But after those two learnings, I now am very good at draining things. So as I say to everyone, cooking just requires practice. It requires the ability to fail and get back on the horse. And you don't make the same mistake more than twice, I would say. Or maybe you do, but eventually you'll learn and it'll become easy and common knowledge for you. And I love to cook now. It's like such my happy place whenever I'm anxious or sad or just in my feelings. I bake something or I go into the kitchen and I make something, and it just is so lovely. I love it. Makes me so happy. And then last but not least, I do my Rare Beauty tinted lip oil, also in the shade Happy. Again, I really like the shade Happy, apparently. I'm just trying to channel it. And that is the look. Quick fire facts. I'm a Taurus. I'm a Taurus moon, Taurus sun, Scorpio rising. There you go for that one. My current drink obsession is a dirty chai latte, and I made one today at home. And how I did it was I steeped a bag of chai tea in just a bit of water, stirred in a little bit of brown sugar, topped it with a decaf shot of espresso and some steamed milk, and oh baby, it is so good. We went to Tofino last week, we were in BC last week, and this became I'd never had a dirty chai, and for whatever reason, dirty chai was calling my name. So I ordered one and I was in heaven. It just sent me. So that is my new drink of the fall. I'm 29. I think I mentioned that when I did the cream. I've been married for almost 2 years, but I've been with my husband for 9.5 years. Long time. We met on Tinder. And that is some of the things that you might be interested to know about me. Make sure you like and subscribe this video if you enjoyed this. Get ready with me. I will link all of the products in the description box below for you to shop them. Honestly, I don't know if you can tell, but this is how I do my makeup every single day. And I do like a little bit of tweaks. Like I don't always put eyeshadow on or even mascara on, but like the base, the skin tint, sunscreen, blush, bronzer, concealer, those don't change. They are my ride or dies right now. I love them. I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you next week. Have the best day. See you later.